we're lucky enough to bring 4 distributors from all across the US and even Ireland who are already working with Choco and Choco's AI features, who can share a bit about their experience. Thank you so much. First, EJ from Linus, all the way from Ireland. Thank you so much for being here. And then you can also come. Then Ed from Cotadi, from California. Pleasure. Yeah, and all the way from Boston. Thank you so much for coming. And from Springfield. Pleasure. Thank you for having you all. So, thank you all for coming here. Thank you for being early adopters. We're very glad about this. One of our aspirations is to bring our industry directly in the age of AI, because we think it's really, really important for our industry to thrive. And Joey, you run Colony Foods, and you have a very direct link between your sales reps and AI adoption. Those sales reps who use AI process the most orders and generate the most revenue, so you've told us. So what's the correlation? Is AI replacing your good salespeople, or is making them better?
You know, I don't know if you left anything for us to talk about. Went through all of it. The time savings is obvious. Our highest grossing sales reps understand that, and they use that to have meaningful conversations. So they're not in their cars punching in orders. Everybody's in that crunch time. I'm sure we have distributors out here, so you guys all have cutoff times. What's happening is, or what has happened, is that sales reps get in the car, they're trying to make that cutoff time, and they're ramming in orders on their laptops. Not a very good use of time. So those higher performing reps understand that Choco's doing the work for them. We call it Mario, by the way. My grandfather, who started the company, his name was Joseph Mario, and there's an A and an I in Mario, so that's what we call it anyway, but I don't know why I threw that in there. The time savings is great, but, and maybe I'll save this for later. I'll let you guys talk for a little bit, but it's also a metric for the sales team. What you'll find is that those that are not using it, it's because they don't want to do that work that the higher performers are doing. It brings it to their attention in ways that, it's in a new way, in a new format, right? A way that they haven't seen before. They've had all their goals set in front of them. You know, you've seen it. You get 3 customers in this month. And if you don't, we're going to take your lunch away, right? They become blind to the same old sales management tools. And now with Choco, they're looking at it in a different way. And it's more obvious. My managers are seeing that underperforming. So it's about the high end, it's about the low end as well. But that time savings is huge. And it takes away the order entry, which is not what we pay them to do. We pay them to have meaningful conversations and develop relationships, just like you said. I was sitting over here while Daniel was talking, and I wasn't listening. I was acting like one of my kids. I was on my phone, typing away. As I was coming over here in the cab, I got word from one of the fellows at my company that my app is ready to go. Actually, no, it was Bobby. It was one of the fellows from your company. And so my app is right now live, and Friday we're going through a training to get that rolling. So I didn't even know it was capable of some of the stuff you were talking about, Daniel. But great company. Thank you. Thank you. And Matt, thank you out there. I know you. I know I was looking for a e-commerce site when you walked in and sold me on this. I wasn't looking for AI order entry, so not even what I was looking for. And I realized this was a much greater tool to make people more efficient. And again, not to repeat, but those relationships. Nobody buys on price. I know they all say that. They buy on relationship. And if you're not spending the time developing that relationship, you're not getting the extra case, you're not getting the new account. That's what it was all about for me.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Ed, you were one of the really first movers when it came to AI. When it came to AI ordering, what made you pull the trigger? You were really early.
Well, you know, I know we're on a limited time schedule, so to give Joey more time to talk, I'll try and keep this short.
That's a good idea.
Exactly. So, you know, we're a small distributor that was in need for an e-commerce solution. You know, our customers, they had been waiting for mobile ordering capabilities. We needed to compete with the corporates. So when we were considering that, we also realized we have a lot of customers that they don't want to change how they order. They want to, like to your presentation, they want to write notes, they want to send text. So we felt that Choco was the best solution because we can offer the technology to those that wanted it, if they wanted to take advantage of it, and we can use AI to save time for those that did not want to change their habits. What Choco offered, was the whole package. Mobile ordering, if you want to order from your PC, you order when you want, not when the distributor wants you to order. So it was just the best of both worlds for us.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much, Ed. And Jeff, so you at SGC, you already had built your own e-commerce solution. And that was also working pretty well, but yet you chose still to work with Choco's AI system.
Right.
So how does this work?
Yeah, so we have our own customer-facing application, and we are looking in all areas of our business really right now for where AI can play a part in making folks more efficient or taking repetitive tasks out of the mix. And so we were doing some of this due diligence, and we really looked at a lot of different AI tools, and we look in our application as well and thought, are we going to develop it ourselves, or are we going to go and outsource it effectively, right? And we made the decision to go with Choco. We did a lot of due diligence on it, checked a lot of references, and they came back very good. So we're in the process, I think, of that model being trained right now, and early results are good. Team's been very responsive. But really it's looking at that and saying Choco long term will bring a lot more scale and expertise than we could doing it ourselves, and we can get to market a lot faster with it. I think the end-to-end time that we expect is probably going to be 8 to 12 weeks to stand that up and actually put some of our team on it live, and our early folks are very bullish on it, so we're excited about it.
Great stuff. We're equally excited. Thank you so much. Hey, EJ. So first I should say EJ came all the way from Ireland, where you're with one of the largest broadliners really in your region. And your strategy is clear, you want to dominate the Irish market. What's the role of AI really in maintaining that leadership, and how fast are you guys trying to move?
Well, firstly, I need to apologise for my accent. An Irish person speaks quickly. A nervous Irish person, well, I apologise in advance. Dan, we should have had AI translate for me today. That would have been good. So we're in Ireland. There's 4 main food service suppliers in Ireland. There's ourselves, there's 2 other Irish suppliers, and so we need to be ahead of what they're doing. And being a family-owned and run business, we're able to do that. So I think with AI, it gives us the edge and it gives us the advantage. We started working with Choco last summer, and we introduced Choco AI ordering in October time. We launched the app 6 to 8 weeks ago, and we're looking at the sales center and all those things with Choco, because we really see AI being the future of what we're doing. We always ask ourselves, what's next? We never let it lie. It's what's the next thing that's coming along? How do we get ahead of the curve? And for us, AI, we're looking for what I call the one source of truth, so that sales information, supply chain information, transportation, pricing, quoting is in one place that all our people can access, but ultimately to make it easier and for the customer that we're their first choice for their ordering. And we really see that in AI, and that's how we're really going to dominate Ireland.
Thank you so much for coming over. And Joey, so you cut order processing time by 75%. So that's a lot of work that's automated now. But where's the time going? Like, what business impact do you see also beyond saving time on order entry?
that time is just so valuable. I know we're talking about that again, but there's something more important than the time you get. There's decisions that are made every day. Sorry, I'm taking some time here. There's decisions that are made every day by your reps, by your customer service people, by your route managers. I call it the 5-second decision. It takes into account the history, your memory of it, your fear, and then it adds in anxiety, depression, and that's what dictates all decisions that your employees are making or you're making. And there's about 500 of them going on at once, and that's how we all ended up here today, because of a 5-second decision. The problem is the first line of a 5-second decision with the customer is your margin, it's your price. Choco takes that away. It protects your margin. With extra time, you can still make bad decisions. I see AI as, it's not replacing the person, it is giving you more time, it's replacing the bad decision. I didn't answer your question, but I think that's all I got for that.
It's still valuable, thank you so much. And Ed, so you're not only using AI, you're also using the e-commerce app. And I believe over 50% of your customers are already on that app, which is quite astonishing. So what's been really the key on getting them on board? How did you get that done?
Well, I think the key was, number one, customers were very anxious for mobile ordering capabilities. So what we did is, first thing is we educated sales. We explained the benefits of the software, and once they were on board and realized that it was going to be a tool, it was going to be good for them, then they went out and started talking to customers. So while our app was being built, we were using AI. They were out talking to customers, curating a list of people that were anxious to get going. So once we had that list, we sent it off to Choco's onboarding team, and they picked up the ball from there, started reaching out to customers, getting them engaged, and bringing them online. So it was a great experience for our customers. I think that's helped quite a bit. And for the future, we'll just continue with customer outreach, and providing those leads to your onboarding team to kind of close the deal.
Fantastic, appreciate it. EJ, you made a marketing campaign. You call it Order Your Way, which obviously speaks to the omni-channel, basically saying you can have an e-commerce app, you might continue to order via text and email and stuff like that. What impact did this have? What changes did it really require in your day-to-day business, really day-to-day, very, very operational? Maybe you can give us a bit of an insight there.
Yeah, so if I think back to what we were doing this time last year, we had just 3 people who sat every day and processed email orders. An email would come in, they would look on the screen, they would go into our ERP, they would look into the customer buying history. If somebody had emailed 2 times beans, was that a red kidney bean? Was it a baked bean? Was it an own brand? They sometimes would have to call the customer. 3 people who took to do that. We always wanted to introduce WhatsApp ordering and voicemail and all those other things. But to do that would require more labour, and that just wasn't an option for something that we weren't too sure would work or not. Since introducing this, we now have 2 people processing double the amount of orders. And that was before we even introduced the WhatsApp. And that's before we've introduced even the app itself. And next month we're introducing voice note and voicemail. What that has done to our staff, to our people, is they're now looking at the screen and AI has done the work for them. It's figured out what it means. We're now sitting at a match rate of 99.7-ish% of incoming emails, WhatsApps, photographs of whiteboards where I'm convinced they're not even written in English. And AI, it understands it. It's incredible. But the thing is, every night it learns. Every night, if it's a new product and somebody writes 2 times steaks, is it sirloin? Is it fillet? Is it 8 ounce? Is it 10 ounce? It learns that. So it's made our team more confident. It's made our sales team more confident to go and sell this. But ultimately, it's made it easier for the customer. They choose how they want to order. We now deal with it, but we haven't had to add in the extra labour to deal with that. And honestly, and I am an advocate of all things tech, but this has amazed me. And the fact that Choco keep bringing new things to the table of, okay, we can now deal with standing orders, or we're looking into it. We can now do this, we're looking at this. I cannot underestimate what these guys are doing. And we looked around at Linus's, at different AI companies, and no one is doing what these guys are doing, and it's specifically in food service. And you know the per kgs, and we know all those grams and butchery and fresh seafood items that confuse us at times. These guys understand that, and it has made our our people stronger. It's made them more confident, and it's taken away a lot of the daily stress as well.
Thank you so much. So you mentioned your sales reps. Jeff, you have over 90 of them. So that's a very sizable team. And AI is now a tool that can support them, focusing more on sales rather than manual tasks. How do you see AI enhancing their role and helping them drive more value? What's your thinking there?
Yeah, sure. So when we started to undertake this, we took a small group of our sales reps and asked them to collect how their orders were coming in. And the pictures you had up there are real world pictures, right? I mean, napkins with coffee stains and, text that are in a picture format. I mean, they came in all sorts of manners. So we figure probably 17% of their orders are coming in this way. So we've got a lot of our sales team that have adopted our online ordering platform, customers that are doing it, but you've got this 15 to 20% of folks that are not coming. Right? And so our sales reps are still out there managing that, manually intervening to get these orders put in. So at the end of the day, we look at it as that last bit of adoption that is not coming along. This is the way that we will get them onboarded into the online ordering component. And when you look at that 15%, at the end of the day, as Joe said, we want our sales team out with our customers, helping them be successful, delivering resources to them. We talk about consultative sales. We've been talking about it since I got into this business. And at the end of the day, if we don't give them the time or we don't give them the resources to do that, it's fanciful to think that they'll be out there doing it. So giving them that time back so that they can do those things out in the marketplace is a huge win. I mean, you think of 10 to 15% of their time every week given back to them, either for work-life balance and or for that time in front of a customer. It's a big deal.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I think it's really a big deal. I spoke to several sales reps who told me they didn't do a proper vacation in over 15 years because they had been order taking every single day since then. Yeah. Joe, you spoke previously about your top performers. Your top performers in sales, and AI is going to help them to do even better. Now, how do you actually convince them that AI isn't replacing them? Because AI can be frightening at first. So how did you do it? How is it making it better? How very operational? How do you speak to them?
I forced them.
Okay.
It's so true. People are scared. And just back to what Jeff and EJ said, it's amazing. I mean, it really is. It's the wow factor when orders come over in Greek. Imagine the smartest customer service rep or sales rep you've ever had. You teach it one time and it never forgets. I warn you, don't teach it wrong, because that causes stone problems. I drew a blank there. You had asked me about
how would you
teaching the reps. Yes, got you. Thank you. They have to. They're scared. My reps are scared. They're a lot of I've got the 20% that are older. I call them older if they're older than me, and I call them younger if they're younger than me. So the older group, they're nervous. They don't understand it. They blame if they, they'll blame Joko for their own mistakes. They'll say, "Oh, Mario messed it up." It only takes a couple questions to realize that it was them that messed it up, and that was their 5-second decision to try to get out of using it. you just have to, I just used patience. I just kept working with them. The top performers got it right away. I mean, man, if you told me I didn't have to write orders, type orders in, and I was going to get an extra 2-3 hours a day to do whatever I wanted, and I didn't have that crunch time anymore, right? To me, it's obvious. So you're going to have the group that adapts quickly. You'll have the group that they're nervous. Plus, they think their job is to type in orders, and that keeps their anxiety down and their depression because they can hide. They don't want to go see new customers. They don't want to talk to people. So now this is forcing them. So you just go slow, and eventually they adapt or move on.
Forcing and patience. Thank you so much. EJ, so you're very top of your game when it comes to AI, but also you launched a white label app, kind of your own e-commerce app. Or do you see a competitive edge in owning the customer experience end to end? How does AI fit into that?
Yeah, so we've always believed that customer experience, it's a whole process, and that's the game really, isn't it? People buy from people, and we truly believe that, but what AI does, it helps our people see around corners, and that's where we really see this kick into place. We've always had e-commerce for years and years now, and because of that we've built deep, trusting relationships built on tech and digital with our customers, and the white label app has really, really added to that. We now have full control of interactions with customers, because now we really are truly customer first, not platform first. And the app has really helped with that. And the AI has given us so many insights, as Dan showed earlier, with the at risk of they haven't ordered their chicken fillets on a Tuesday and they normally would. Sometimes that would take a week of data to realise that we did that. That customer experience of, they've realised that I haven't placed the order. Suddenly the churn is cut. The product churn and the customer churn that we all have to deal with is cut straight away. So we own the full experience. So we're not just we sell food, but it's so much more than that. We can give customer insights. We can give them more solutions now. We can really drive forward. But the thing is, every interaction is personalised to them. It's not one broad stroke. It's not one customer treat them all. I like to be treated differently. Oh, sorry, I touched the mic. Sorry, sound guy. I like to be treated differently by restaurants that I go to, by shops so why would I expect our customers to feel like they are treated all the same? And that's where AI really comes into that personalised piece. And what it does is, because of that, we can sell more to our current customers. We can build a basket and keep them returning time and time again, because we've made it easy to deal with us. We're becoming first choice more and more often, and I see that every day that our sales are coming in. But also what it does is, as we've seen earlier with the sales centre, it can acquire new customers and do product catalogue matches in the app straight away for that sales team to go in. So AI Key, the white label app, has changed, and we've only launched it 6 weeks. But every day, even when I'm here, I'm looking at the data coming in, and it's incredible, because I truly see that AI just isn't a bolt-on to our business. It really is the glue that's going to build our food service businesses in the future and really grow that sector.
And maybe doubling down on that, so if someone would be stuck in the decision making where they should roll out an e-commerce, how would you recommend to form a decision whether now is the time to roll out an e-commerce app?
Yes. Oh, this is good. I love the app, and I love everything about this. What we did at the start is we didn't look at AI. We looked at our pain points first of all, and then we've got AI to solve them. Because suddenly you get the buy-in from your own teams. They're on board. You've suddenly solved the problem that they've been talking about for ages. And you're bringing those people together with you on the journey. And that's what we've done. And all honestly, I look at we have a sales team internally of 30, and we have 60 reps out and about. And it is changing the way. Even this morning when I woke up, I had 2 emails, one from one of our sales reps to say, who is not technical in any way whatsoever. I had to show him where the App Store was on his phone. That's what we're talking about. He's now onboarding customers this week because it's so simple, and he's no longer getting the text messages at night time. I need to place an order. They're going straight into the app to deal with that. And then we had a customer on today as well saying, it's so quick, it's so easy, it's just there for me, and it's giving me notifications and insights as well. This app is, huge advocate, by the way, of Choco.
Appreciate it. So Ed, you've done 3 reference calls for Choco. So other distributors calling you and asking what you think about it. What's the top question you usually receive on these calls, and why would you feel comfortable doing these reference calls in the first place?
Well, the top question is always, every distributor I've talked to, they all use NECS Entree software as their ERP, as I do. And since there is no current API between Choco and Entree, the question is always about, well, how does it work? So since I believe we were the first Entree customer that came on board with Choco, we talked through that, and I recommend, honestly, I recommend it because, as everybody in this room knows, technology, it's not perfect, it's never easy, there's always going to be little hiccups, and when you're doing something for the first time, you learn. Choco team has been great, their support is far superior than any software company I've ever dealt with, so I have no problem making a recommendation.
Appreciate it. I have 3 questions to all of you. So you may speak up if you feel you want to speak about it. The first one would be that we all know rolling out new technology isn't easy. Whether that's working with the team and convincing them to use it, whether that's trained AI in the beginning, and there can be many other things, in particular when rolling out the first time. So if another distributor would ask you, what's the number one thing to get right when adopting AI, what would you say? Do you want to go?
Sure, I'll start. I mean, in the applications that we've gone, I would just say, from the standpoint of that project is just test it a lot, right? We always get a beta group, and so we have a small subset group, and we test it with them ad nauseum to make sure that it works and to make sure that it's serving them the way that we expect it to serve them before we start rolling anything out. So I think just doing that due diligence in a project is critical.
Yeah, I do agree. Want to add something?
The most important thing for us was the products that was available to the customers, or the order that was placed. We leaned heavily on the side of Choco to just put the orders in at the onset. And the piece that was most important to us was making sure that it wasn't picking from our whole catalog, but from the history. Now we're going to release to those customers that are going through normally, we'll release the whole catalog. But at the onset, we had to do that to make sure we had less. We were going through their order guides essentially, through their history, and that made less corrections for us. It made it go quicker, the adaptation and adoption. That's the hardest part of it. It really went fast, but the hardest part is, I guess if you want to call it the hardest part, is that initial onset of just start training a bunch of your customers at once, making sure they have the right items. But it spoke, we're Canopy or Aspen. Avi's here, he's helped us out a lot. I say it all the time, we're the largest competitor to ourselves. And we're the ones that slowed it down. Choco's amazing. They lightning quick for everything. It's great. I can't say enough. I wish I could get my team to move that fast.
Thank you. Ed, what would you say? What would be the recommendation?
Well, my recommendation would be really understand how the technology works. Try and get behind it and figure out, okay, what's it going to do? What's the AI going to do? So once you have an understanding of how it works, train your staff. And the one mistake we made is train the AI. We didn't train AI nearly long enough. We probably, in hindsight, should have spent a few weeks pushing through as many orders as possible, because it would have made that go live much smoother.
Yeah, I agree to that, and I think that is important and very particular about AI as in comparison to traditional software. AI needs training. It's very smart, but it's like a baby. It's capable of everything, but you got to teach it. Whereas traditional software, you just install it and it works. AI, you got to teach it, and so you got to invest a couple of weeks to teach it. But once it gets there, it's going to remember things forever. I think the training is very important. EJ, what would you recommend?
I think know exactly what you want it to do, and know your data. And I learned this the hard way. I thought we had clean data. Turns out we didn't. So we almost had to rebuild that to make it easier on the Choco side. So we knew, and set a timeline. Know when you want to start, know where you want to finish, and work. We had amazing hands-on guys from Choco, and every week we did calls with them. Where are you? What do you need from us? And vice versa. Once we understood that, it was the easiest piece of software tech that we have ever introduced in our business in 75 years. We've done voice pick technology, everything, smart routing. This was the easiest because we were able to plan. We knew where we were, and we launched it when the time was right. Know that, know what you want it to do, and don't, like me, get distracted by all the cool things it could do. Keep to your plan, and it goes really, really well.
Great. So to my last question, it's a hypothetical question. So let's assume AI would have been here 3 years ago, and you had adopted it 3 years ago, say in the year 2022, and now you'd have it running for 3 years. What impact do you think would have had now, 3 years later, on your business?
Sure. I think it's the impact that we expect that it will have, which is really giving our sales team less transactional time. That's where we put AI in other applications in our company. A lot of it is about getting out of the transactional components of a person's day-to-day job. And so if our DSRs can get out of the transactional and get beyond that, then, the relationships, the ability for them to go out and support and help our customers be successful just goes up by that much more. Build strong relationships, obviously, which, leads to what we all want, which is good outcomes, good growth, and good customer relationships. So that transactional piece and minimizing that as much as we can as we continue to move into AI is where our focus is.
Do you think it's going to help you to grow faster?
Yeah, I think, it certainly has that potential, right? It's going to open capacity for our sales team. And some of that capacity, as we say, is I'm getting my Sunday back, or I'm getting, my evening time back, and that's important. But the other part of that is strengthening customer relationships and building those trusted relationships that will lead to better outcomes. So certainly believe that the growth component of it will be material.
Yeah. Do you think, because it's interesting that you mentioned also, the Sundays, do you think it's going to make your team happier and more motivated?
I hope so. I hear, we've got a great team, and so we've got folks that are committed to their customers. They take care of them every day. And, they might sit down and take a half a day Sunday, right? Taking calls or transcribing. And if we give that time back to them, by all means, and if we can do it with technology, that's a huge win, right? Yeah.
I do agree. Joy, what's your take?
I'm perseverating on a mistake that I made that you just pointed out to me. You asked me earlier how I got my sales team to go along with it, use it, agree to it. I just assumed that they were all going to get it, that they all would trust it. Damn it, that was a mistake I made. Yeah, that's another one. We'd be on to the next thing. If we were using Choco 3 years ago, 4 years ago, yeah, we'd be growing like crazy. I'd probably have a little bit more turnover. Again, like I was talking about the metrics of it, I'd be making more margin, more profit, I'd be selling more cases. So I'd be on to the next thing. What do you have next for us?
Next year we're going to show you a bunch of stuff. Yeah.
I love surprises. These guys don't tell me anything. They just walk in one day and go, we can do this now.
Yeah.
Cool.
Ed, what would you say, Ed?
Well, had we been doing this for the last 3 years, our customer participation rate would be much higher. It would have given our sales team a lot more time to prospect over those years, and frankly, I think our revenue would be much higher today.
Great. EJ, what would you say?
Wow, if I were Bill and Ted and could go back right now, I would. I think it would reduce our product churn, it would reduce our customer churn, it would find us new customers, and ultimately it would grow revenue whilst keeping labour the same. And it's that gap that you want to keep growing bigger and bigger. So we could do more sales, do more revenue, but hold the labour and just be smarter about the whole thing. I wish I could go back. But the thing is, now, if you're unsure, go for it.
So, Joe, you asked me kind of what's next. What would you like to have next?
So, like I said about the surprises, and I just got my app up and running. There was a lot there that you're doing. I think one of the things I would like is the ability to pull the menu. Although I hate price quotes, and it's going to sound like that's what I'm talking about, and I'm not. But pull the menu out. So you're finding the customer or the potential customer. You know they use the items. So if you pull the menu out and then you overlay that with the products that you could sell that fit that menu item, those menu items, that would be what I'd like to see next. It tells you if the customer's a worthwhile prospect, I should say, much quicker.
We might have something cooking there.
I have the problem of reps will walk away from places because they think there's nothing to sell them, and that would alleviate that problem.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much, everyone. We're really proud to serve all of you. We're really big fans of all of our customers. We appreciate also the trust, in particular for family-run businesses like yours. So thank you very much for that. Also, thank you for making the time for that panel, and thank you everyone for being here. And just to close, I want to say that AI is really important, and I think it's fair to say in the beginning when there's something new and as different as AI is, as a technology, it might be frightening, but I think we had many examples how AI actually can make us better, can make us spend more time with our customers, and make us invest more time in loyalty, which is so important in our industry, spend more time with our customers. And we really believe that distributors who move now on AI will be better off than the ones who will move later on AI, and hence we really recommend everyone to go, whether it's with us or with someone else. Thank you everyone for being here. You guys are already proving it. AI isn't replacing distributors, but it's making you win. Thank you so much.